partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Whether you're an artist playing accountant, a barista trying to be a bean counter, or a student just looking to get started, the UW Credit Union app lets you be free to be you. With free credit scores, free online bill pay, and the ability to send money to friends. Because with fewer fees, you can do more of what you love. UW Credit Union, here for every you. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Your nationally ranked Wisconsin men's basketball team is gearing up to face Big Ten opponents in Madison, and we need you to help bring the energy to the Kohl Center. Secure your tickets now, as inventory is limited. For more information and to purchase single-game tickets, visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. That's uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and is expanding to Milwaukee. As a local company headquartered in Verona, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Spring will be here before you know it, and so will Marco Sicchi's 6th annual Casting for Kids Fishing Tournament, Saturday, May 18th on the Madison Chain of Lakes. Created to help children who are fighting cancer at American Family Children's Hospital, UW Carbone Cancer Center. There's a limit of 80 boats for a fun day on the water before 2:30 happy hour at Alliant Energy Center, a silent auction, dinner, and a live auction at 4 o'clock. Help us help the kids. Casting for Kids, Saturday, May 18th. Sign up or donate at castingforkids.org.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers. With positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
This is Alex Strouf's favorite Fish song, is that correct?
It's my favorite one you play every week, yeah. I feel like this should be the send home song.
You don't like Bouncing Around the Room?
That's probably my second favorite.
That's a good one for...
It's a good one.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I really like the bass in this one.
What did you say, G?
I don't know like any Fish at all.
You know, I'll tell you this. That's actually shocking to me.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, if you look at G, he's got hair past his shoulders. He is he's like a professional ultimate frisbee player. I'm sure he's familiar with the America's favorite
G, can
plant.
I ask you a question? Are you waving to the folks on YouTube as well? Because Mike from Sauk Prairie wants to know if we're on YouTube today.
Yeah. There was this was my first crosstalk, and I made a mistake. Strouf helped me out.
Okay.
We're good.
I'd just like to point out, not that I give myself too much credit. By the way, that's a joke. I am doing my job today. I am doing Ryan Wollersheim's job today, minus the producing part of it. And also Matt Hamilton's job today.
Good job.
Give me some.
All right. James in the Forest chimes in. Strouf is bleeped. LMAO. Well, that's the point. He is not.
Oh, come on.
But 844-770-3776. Give Groundhog's Day, the movie, a grade. You can chime in on that. Is Groundhog's Day cruel to groundhogs? And then finally, I want to ask like an actual sports question. So the Packers have upcoming free agents. Mm-hmm. There's a long list, and I guess the good news is here that most of these players are, with all due respect, widely insignificant in the future of the Packers. They're nice players, but they're Like you use the old term WAR, like wins above replacement. They're all probably like 0
Jimmy,
WAR players.
That's the beauty of this team, man. You look at the offense, all those guys are in contract for at least another 2 or 3
Chris
years.
from Madison Waters chimes in. Good Lord, Strouf, you are 50 years old in a 23-year-old body. 2-day hangovers, rejecting booty calls. Be young and stupid when you can. And then Ryan, our psychedelic advisor, says, don't break your arm patting yourself on the back. But if you do, he's got something for you.
Yeah, clearly.
I added that little note, but
Clearly.
I'm sure he does.
Weed is
probably
tight.
right. Ryan, the psychedelic. I haven't been off the show that long. What the hell happened? Where'd you get a psychedelic advisor from? Has he always been around?
Yeah, I think he added the psychedelic advisor part out.
Gotcha.
I think he's in the McFarland area.
Because I feel like Robin Madison is kind of her psychedelic advisor. No?
Oh, Robin Madison's still on the phone. Gee, you got Rob. Sorry. Hey, we're having too much fun tripping over here. What's going on?
What's up, Robbie? How are you, bro?
No, I'm not a psychedelic advisor, but I am all about the ganja and alcohol. And how do you have a 2-day hangover?
No, I don't. I said I don't have one.
All right.
But he's famous for them. That's why he brought it up.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Yeah. Back in the day, that's what Chris and Manitowoc Waters used to make fun of me for. Because very early in my career here at ESPN Madison, I came into work on like a Wednesday, had a big Monday night, and it just leaked into Wednesday. And I was telling Jim that it leaked into Wednesday, and Chris from Manitowoc Waters hasn't let that one go. But anyway, what's up, Rob?
I got a proven theory on how to prevent hangovers, but I'm going to have to charge for that information. But I called you asked about dating in the 50s and 60s, how hard it must have been. And it reminded me of a Slim Jim commercial when the Amish dude picked up the kids. He's like, so what's it like without the internet, man? Oh, it's all right, but I just get pictures of your mom in the mail.
That's not a real commercial. There's no way that's real.
Slim Jim in it, so I'm going to help him.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Rob.
I don't know what to say to that.
Like, he's enjoying Fish Friday early.
Did he just make a your mom joke in 2024?
I don't know. I don't know what exactly all happened there, but I still am a little bit taken aback that Alex Strouf was not aware that telephones existed in 1950.
Oh, it's not that I didn't know they existed. I just didn't know they were commonplace.
That's not what you said.
Well, of course they existed. Like, the President of the United States has a phone in the Oval Office, of course. But, like, does the average citizen in the state of Wisconsin have a wall phone? Like, okay, let's just move me back to the 50s. My current situation, right? Live by myself, one-bedroom apartment. Like, percentage-wise, what am I guessing?
Yep.
How many people had a phone in the 1950s?
Yeah, just percentage.
42%.
2/3.
Oh, 66%. Okay, so not everybody. So that's less than 75. It's less than 3/4.
That's a large number of people that had phones.
Okay, but do you think I would have one, right?
But
Like,
also,
that's the point I'm making.
phones
Single
still exist,
dude, live by myself. Would I have a phone?
I guess why not?
Because 1/3 of people didn't have one.
Okay, but you probably have like a phone like in your apartment building. That was a thing.
Oh, sure. Phone booths.
Phone booths.
I wish those were still a thing.
Were you Superman?
Yeah. How'd you know?
How gross are like? Think about it. You don't wish they existed.
Well,
if they existed, they would have died immediately in COVID.
Can we be honest though? People are grosser in 24 than they were in the 50s.
Right. That's why I'm saying that the good thing they don't exist anymore.
Oh, maybe that's not true. People should probably shower more these days than they did in the 50s.
There's more people now, though, and I feel like they do weirder things. So, like, I feel like the imagination to do weird things wasn't around in the 50s.
Speaking of, I believe Rob used the term ganja. I was walking to get some lunch today, and there was just a bag of ganja on the sidewalk. I didn't pick it up.
It's a trap.
That's what I said.
They're trying to catch stoners because yesterday I walked in and there was 2 pieces of pizza outside in the walkway between us and Vintage. There was just 2 pieces of pizza
just sitting there.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to set traps.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't far from there, for the record. So
thanks for the heads up, guys. I feel much safer now.
Don't pick anything up, all right? What were you going to talk about the Packers, right?
Yes. David Deerfield says, I'd pat Strouf on the back, but he's doing a pretty good job on his own. And James and DeForest chimes in with Super Strouf. So the Packers have some pretty insignificant free agents, but some of these players might have a tug on your heart. So we're going to ask this. 844-770-3776 is our first poll question. If you can only keep one of these free agents, the Packers I think have 12. We picked the top 4. We made the choice, but I think it's pretty easy. Keshawn Nixon, John Runyon, A.J. Dillon, Darnell Savage. Which one are you keeping?
All right, let's just run through the options for a second. Darnell Savage, I would understand if he's back just because of the lack of safety. They only have 2 under contract. One is Anthony Johnson Jr., another junior, shout out, who was a 7th-round pick this year. The other is Benny Sapp III. What's with all these thirds and seconds anyway? So those are the only 2 safeties under contract next year. So I would understand Savage as a depth play. John Runyon Jr., they were already replacing him with Sean Ryan during the regular season. He's gone. Runyon's not my choice. A.J. Dillon, I don't want back. No disrespect to him. I love him. He's the king of Door County. He's a Green Bay guy, married a Green Bay girl. I would get if he's back on like a hometown discount. I don't want him back. Aaron Jones is back. Brian Gutekunst confirmed that yesterday. Then that leaves Keyshawn Nixon or Darnell Savage Jr. So those would be defensive back plays. I'd probably say Nixon just because of the game-breaking ability at kick returner. But I'd be okay if all 4 of these were gone. I'd go Nixon, though, in this bowl.
I would go with Nixon as well. I don't think any of the 4 are super important. A.J. Dillon, if you're a fan of A.J. Dillon, you hope he's gone because that means he got a contract that he's not going to take a super friendly deal.
He's only pulling 3% of the vote right now.
That's and I think maybe people are just hoping for him to go on to do bigger and better things because A.J. Dillon needs to make some money. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. So if I'm him, I'm going to get the money he can. 4-year, $5 million deal. He could easily sign a 1-year, $3 million deal somewhere and make more than half the money he's made already. So if you're a fan of A.J. Dillon, the person, you probably want him to take a contract that is best for him and his family, which won't come in Green Bay. I think if he's back in Green Bay, it's because the offers weren't existing somewhere else.
I could find somewhere in the middle being true, right? Like if he gets I'm just going to throw out the first team that pops to my head, the Ravens. If the Ravens offer him, 1 year, $6 million, I wouldn't be shocked if he came back to Green Bay for like a 1 year, $4 million. I don't know exactly on the numbers.
Yeah, but I would say if it was 4 and 3, maybe. But to your point, I think 6. If it was 6, that's his entire earnings with the Packers.
Yeah.
So fair. That's doubling your money. So I don't mean that he doesn't care about the Packers, but he doesn't want to get paid. Now I would imagine if he's going to a team, you're going to look at like the Jets, I guess. Somewhere where there's Packer connections would be the first step. And then you're someone who runs this sort of offense as well. He's a nice complementary back, but he probably is more likely going to have the career that Melvin had later in his career where you're just bouncing around year to year on different teams.
No, you're probably right about that. And he never really developed, especially this year, into the bruiser that the Packers wanted him to be. And it was very consistent with him. September and October weren't his months. November and December were. Obviously, he dealt with the hand injury then later in the season, or arm injury, whatever it was. Missed a couple of games, and Aaron Jones did what Aaron Jones has never done, which is put together a unbelievable 5-game stretch, back to back, which included some of those postseason games. So Aaron Jones played debatably the best football he ever has, and like I said, Goody confirmed he'll be back next year. But he does hit the age 30 mark, which is typically the drop-off point for running backs. So my hope there is Jones is the lead back. They draft a guy maybe 3rd or 4th round. Shout out Blake Corum from Michigan, one of my draft crushes. He kind of plays that backup role and then maybe takes over as the starter in 25. So A.J. Dillon is he actually ranks 4th on this list for me.
Yeah, he's also, I don't think he's getting the money. Seth from Columbus says A.J. Dillon all day. 3.4 yards per carry ain't going to get you paid.
That's true.
So 613 yards, so the worst as a full-time running back for him with over 100 carries, the worst amount of yards and the least amount of yards per carry and the least amount of touchdowns. Because his rookie year, he was very much a spot back. He only had 46 carries. So A.J. Dillon is going to take wherever he can play, and hopefully it works out well for him. But yeah, A.J. Dillon is not going to be a bidding war. Darnell Savage, I think you just need to move on and clean house in the safety position. Like, you can have the opportunity here, and that could be where you could bring in a free agent. That's actually where I pointed out that not getting a Ravens D coordinator could hurt you because Geno Stone would be a guy that would make sense here. And if a Raven was here, I think they would be here immediately. We also don't know what defense they're running. Not that the safety is going to be dramatically different in a 3-4, but scheme will fit some of that as well. And then Runyon, I think at the right price, he's a nice depth piece.
Yeah, depth, right? Because as I just mentioned, he kind of split time towards the end of the year with Sean Ryan, which was weird. Like, it'd be one drive Runyon and then the next drive Ryan. And Sean Ryan, who was, I think, a third-round pick 2 years ago, so that's a guy they want to see more of on his rookie deal, which you've preached a lot about over the course of the last few months, and how important those are. And the way this Packers roster is constructed, I know you'll agree with me, is brilliant from that perspective, right?
Well,
There's
yes.
so many guys on rookie deals, specifically in the offensive end.
And necessary, because if you look at it right now, effective cap space, they have $7 million. Now, they can cut some guys, but
Yeah,
they're
they'll
still
make some more,
right. But everyone else above them can also cut people to make room. So they're roughly the 22nd team, give or take a little bit based off of moves they make in cap space. So that's not going to free a lot up for them.
22nd least or 22nd most?
They're 20, like the most would be number one,
Okay,
the least
so
be 22nd.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I tied myself up. I know what you mean now. Thank you.
So basically, like the Commanders have $90 million, the Packers have $7 million, and like you just slide it down from there. And when you look at that part of it, it's going to get maybe better this year, but then you're going to spread out Bakhtiari over another year or two. I think Rodgers drags through in the next season, and then after this season, Jordan Love's going to get paid. So it works out well, but they're going to immediately be up against it. But at least they don't have to make any moves to get rid of someone when they're up against it, because then Jair and Rashawn are going to continue to climb on their deals, but then Kenny Clark could fall. So they are timing it out right. They're not in like cap hell. They're not the Saints. The Saints are cooked. But I would say the Packers right now are league average in cap space, and they'll probably stay right in that window, which allows them to bring in maybe one free agent of like significance. Maybe another, I could see like an Adrian Amos, Campbell, Rasul Douglas sort of offseason for them. And not getting one big name. Because I don't think they can afford to spend it all on one big name, because they do have dead money that they have to manipulate. And then as soon as they clear that off, which is good timing, Jordan Love gets his payday.
Yeah, and you know they'll lock him up in May, and you're right, it won't kick in probably until 25. But oh boy, if you're a Packers fan and you aren't freaking jacked about the future of this team, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, this is super exciting, and Jim's point that he makes a lot on Jordan Love and the cap space and whatever that he'll dictate is fair. But you also have at least 2 years, if not 3, for a lot of these guys on the offensive side of the football that they're on rookie deals. The championship window is open, and Brian Gutekunst yesterday was more committal than I've ever seen in my time with ESPN Wisconsin, because every offseason that he's met with the media, he's essentially had to worry about Aaron Rodgers looking over his shoulder, whether or not he'll be here. This year, it was like, yeah, Jones will be back. Yeah, Jair's not getting traded. No chance that's happening. Yeah, we're going to lock up Jordan Love in the offseason. Yeah, we're going to have some flexibility to go after impact players, plural, in free agency.
See, I thought he hedged back and forth on that, because I think impact players at the price they want, because he did say we don't want to strap ourselves, but for the right player. When you're using the words like right player,
but Jimmy,
that's very much of like.
But you would agree with me on this. Like what Brian Gutekunst has proven as the GM is he's really good at low risk, high reward moves. Preston Smith, Darius Smith, Adrian Amos.
And that's what I do think that they will do.
And I agree with you. And that's what I think he means by that. They might not pop off the page, right? They're not going to get a sexy guy like Patrick Queen. I don't mean that physically. I mean that like in terms of a football player. And they're not going to spend up the wazoo on a guy like Patrick Queen, but they will go spend a little bit of money on a guy that can probably pop in as a starter on a one-year deal, kind of like a Keyshawn Nixon, right? He was a low-risk, high-reward move, and then he got brought back last year. I'm sure he'll be back next year. So he's really good at those, and he's obviously a scouting background. So I fully trust Goody. He's earned my trust. There's no way I can't trust him after what he put together this season.
Absolutely. 844-770-3776. If you can only keep one, is it Keyshawn Nixon, John Runyon, A.J. Dillon, or Darnell Savage? This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday, and we will let you know where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, me and Matt are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like Tootsie's Bar and Grill, Jerry's Place, Cahoots, and Red Mouse.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, We can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Over $10 million in jackpots so far this year. It's just February. Go be a winner. I think there was like over $1.5 million won just last weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. The question, Alex, you and I have not talked much about. I know you've talked about it some on Mr. Irrelevant, and you can listen to that wherever you like to listen to podcasts, Wisconsin the Man, and you also can see Alex do that on the ESPN Madison YouTube page and Facebook and all those sorts of things. Basically, where you're watching us right now, and Mark Hafley, the hire. And my take on it, Jeff Hafley. Mark Hatley was a Bears coach, I believe.
Okay.
So Jeff Hafley.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've noticed a lot of people are struggling with his name.
Hafley. H-A-L.
No, just overall,
yeah.
Jeff Hafley. People are really struggling to remember.
Yeah.
What's that?
John Hafley.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't know what it is. Like, obviously, Joe Barry is a very easy name to remember. But a lot of people are struggling to remember Jeff Hafley. And maybe it's because he flew under the radar and you didn't have time to do your research on him until the hire was announced on Wednesday afternoon. But anyway, go on.
Yeah,
sorry.
Boston College coach. Who honestly looks like he's bros with LaFleur. It could actually be a brother with
Don't get me started.
Coach LaFleur.
Don't get me started.
What's wrong with this?
I'm sick of that angle. I'm so sick of people being like, "Oh, LaFleur just hired his buddy."
That's what happens in the NFL. Like that's not unique
knows
to
each other,
LaFleur.
but they're not very close. Rob Domofsky confirmed that with me today on Mr. Irrelevant. He said like they know each other in passing. They've never like really hung out. They have mutual friends, right? So Hafley worked under Robert Saleh, who's obviously very good friends with Matt LaFleur. But what did Rob say that I thought was? It's not like Matt's wife and Jeff and his wife are going to Jamaica together. They might now, but they
for example here, and this is how the NFL works. Chicago, Ryan Poles, Mark Eberflus, and Shane Waldron all share their same agent. And so, like, just for a team I follow, like, Joe Barry is the son of an NFL coach and was the
son-in-law of Rod Marinelli.
Yeah, so
he worked for Rod Marinelli in Detroit.
Right, that's how the league.
That's nepotism.
Right.
That's friendship.
Right.
This is like, hey, I know guys that have a lot of good things to say about you. We've met a few times in passing. Like, are you interested? And then they interviewed. And the report is, as we mentioned on KBN about an hour ago, like, the Packers offered Zach Orr the job. It just was going to be hard to pull him out of Baltimore, so they had to look for the next best thing. And Jeff Hafley, I'm happy with the hire. We've talked about this.
I wouldn't say they offered him a job. I would say that.
No, I think Aaron Wilson reported that.
Okay, because the Ravens were pretty clear that Harbaugh basically said, "Give me the right of first refusal."
Yeah, right.
And
rightfully so. That's how that works.
That's kind of how that broke out there. Okay, I just didn't want to know that I accidentally reported something
from
I wasn't supposed to.
Aaron Wilson, regarded as future NFL head coach, new Ravens defensive coordinator Zach Orr had options if 31-year-old former linebacker hadn't been promoted or had an offer from the Packers to be the defensive coordinator.
Okay, so then I'm fine with that. Yes, that is true. We can confirm that. But I just wanted to, I didn't want to accident. I didn't know if I let something slip. So we can confirm that was definitely the case. And that's not a thing against Packers. I mean, he was basically born and raised in the NFL with the Ravens.
Yeah.
And so,
he was.
I mean, that's just...
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great...
I don't know the guy, but I'm happy for him, if that makes any sense.
To Jeff Hafley, I wasn't getting to, I just said they look very much
They're both handsome.
And they both, their outfits are the same. They both wear the...
what does Adam Stenavich look like? Because I imagine the Packers have to be the front runners for the best looking. He's not as handsome as LaFleur and Hafley. But Rich Bisaccia is wheeling, dealing, sex appealing. LaFleur and Hafley, they have to have the best looking coaching staff in the NFL.
Bisaccia looks like.
He's an old man. That was more of a joke.
Okay.
I can pull you up a picture of
San Francisco. I mean...
That's what Rich Bisaccia looks like. It's like an old Italian dude.
Okay. I'm sure he does well for his age bracket.
Hey now.
I don't know. The Texans probably. Think of the younger staffs.
Oh, true. Texans might be good looking. D'Amico Ryan's a good looking guy.
Yeah. And
Rich Bisaccia is 64 years old.
So I would say San Francisco, you're trying to, that might be the peak.
Shanahan, yeah.
But last year, if they had Shanahan and Ryans, that's a, I don't.
Oh, true.
That's an impressive group. Well, who's the head coach out in Vegas?
Now it is, they promoted internally.
Oh, Pleasant. So,
Pierce.
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce, thank you.
And so they added Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, I did see that. He's a handsome dude as well.
He is.
Okay. There are a couple options here. I thought it'd be a runaway, but you're right. Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the younger staffs. I don't know who the Vikings have in their staff.
Kevin O'Connell's fine.
Yeah. Not, he's fine, or he's fine?
He's fine.
I do have
Matt
a list
LaFleur
of the top 10 hottest coaches.
You do?
Yeah, according to ESPN South Florida.
Oh.
Like our friends?
No. Different. Very clearly a different website.
What the hell is this website then? Okay, go ahead.
All right, we start at number 10 with the Cleveland Browns head coach, Kevin Stefanski. He's got that pepper gray beard.
Yeah, he's got the silver fox look for sure. That adds up.
Number 9, no longer a head coach, Mike Vrabel. Man's got some muscle.
Yeah.
I don't get
he's
it.
got a very rugged look. Like that's a coach my wife would find attractive.
Yeah, you put on a flannel and you're loading something in the truck type look. Yeah.
Number 8, he's never had a losing season in his career.
Mike
Tomlin with a $1 million smile and some good facial hair, I might say.
I would agree.
Number 7, Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the 49ers. He's in the Super Bowl.
I feel like Tomlin might be too low on this, but we'll see.
I would tend to agree. Number 6, Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota
Top 5
Vikings.
on the floor, baby!
Oh, you're going to love this. Number 5, our producer regular had dressed as him for Halloween.
Mike
McDaniels, the Poindexter.
I don't know.
He's got a lot of swag to him and a lot of style to him. Like, he is more stylish. He's a better dresser and a better personality than LaFleur.
Oh yeah, if it's a personality ranking, he's number 1.
Right,
Smarts count.
But to that part of it, if
interesting,
I would imagine if women are voting on this, they're gonna want to take in all accounts and they're not as I think guys are very much hot not like women are gonna be like, oh, Mike McDaniel's funny and he dresses really well, he dresses better than LaFleur.
Women are so much less shallow than us.
Yeah, they're just better than us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's true. All right, number 4.
You want passion, you want fire, you want desire. You've got Sean McVay, a man to hold him back on the sidelines. Number 4.
Sure.
Number 3, D'Amico Ryan, head coach of the Houston Texans.
Still too low.
Who's number 2?
He's a good-looking dude. There's
Who
someone
are we missing? Hold on. Let me think about this before we reveal number 2.
I would bump Tomlin and Ryan up.
So we have LaFleur likely at 1, maybe at 2, but who am I missing that would be number 2 or number 1 that is an incredibly handsome head coach?
I'm looking at it and I don't get it.
All right, who is it?
Nick Sirianni.
Is number 2?
Of the head. Yeah.
No way. His head is like it's like a big egg.
It's
like
an
a
almond.
big mixed shape.
He looks like an almond.
But LaFleur number 1?
Matt LaFleur's number 1.
My head coach is hotter than yours. My head coach is hotter than yours.
You're telling me that Eberflus isn't on this list?
He looks like a young mobster.
Yeah, and I just don't know if he could be hot with a name like Eberflus.
That's a fair point.
I don't think that's just.
Fair point.
Hey, it's Flus. What's up? The Flus is on the loose.
Hey now.
It's just. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. I don't think it happens.
Yeah, that's fair. So Matt LaFleur leads the way in head coaches. So we have a step up.
But
there.
I think there's a specific demo because LaFleur, McVay, Shanahan, McDaniel, they all have very similar offenses and a very similar style look to them. Like McDaniel's the only one that kind of breaks out of it a little bit. Of what do you call it? Not the sweater vest, but like the sleeveless. What are they wearing here? The vest sort of thing.
Vest?
A vest.
Vest, yeah. So they were all wearing that vest.
You wore one like 2 days ago. Why don't you know the name of it?
It was a gift from my wife. Like they're like, so I'll wear it. But
Vests are in, boys.
They're in. Yeah, they're
but
in.
it's very much like we're going to wear a vest and we're going to be like a day and a half, but for them probably like a week and a half not shaven. And we're going to have like a very specific haircut. So outside of McDaniel, he doesn't fall directly into that group, but those other 3 guys kind of fall into that.
Shanahan, McVay, and LaFleur. Yeah, that's fair.
I could go a week without shaving and no one would know.
I kind of always do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, same, but it's mainly because I already have an established baseline there. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Need more of Judgmental Jim? Subscribe to the Rutledge and Hamilton podcast, presented by Revive Restoration, wherever you get your podcasts. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strouf.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starry on Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starry on Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience by going to starryonbank.com. Member FDIC. The reigning national champion and second nationally ranked Wisconsin women's hockey team have won 9 games in a row, entering this weekend's 2-game homestand against St. Cloud State. Head coach Mark Johnson earlier this week says he likes where his team's at.
Now we're in position, as I told the team after practice, that we have 6 out of our last 8 at home. We're in good position, but we still have to continue to do what we've been doing the last month.
Number 2, Wisconsin, St. Cloud State, 3 o'clock Saturday, 4 o'clock Sunday puck drop at LeBon Arena.
Get 0% interest for up to 3 years, or get no money down, no interest, and no payments for up to 18 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Visit PellaWI.com.
What is a better buying experience? Well, you're minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. To me, a better buying experience is a personal experience. That's what Dan and his sales team have set up at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're going to have the experience that you're looking for. You're going to define what that better buying experience is for you, and they're going to get you in the vehicle that you need and that you want, whether it's new or new to you. So when you're looking for a better buying experience, go to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
When I jumped off, I had a bucket full of thoughts. When I first jumped off, I held that bucket.
Played some basketball this morning, but I did get to Carbon World Health a couple times this week. I should have done the cryo after basketball, but I didn't get a chance to get directly over to Carbon after playing this morning. But I get to Carbon World Health a couple times a week. You can sign up there for the 6-week experience, and then you can figure out the right workout plan for you after that. You also can figure out if semaglutide is right for you. It is right for me. It is the FDA and obviously very famous now, game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment. I've been taking it about a year, and now I'm on more of a maintenance level, and my weight is staying exactly where it is after I dropped all my weight, so I'm down to about 10% body fat. I'm down to around 200 pounds, so dropped about 25 pounds and dropped about 13% of body fat. And you can find out if that's right for you, or maybe hormone optimization is right for you at Carbon World Health. So find the right treatment for you at Carbon World Health, and the easiest way to do that is to sign up for the 6-week experience. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Alex Strouf and Jim Rutledge with you, talking a little bit about Jeff Hafley and the other questions that I have about him that I will think will color my opinion of him a little bit. And I don't know if he's going to – I think expecting success year one might be a big stretch. I do think he's a guy that'll grow into the job.
Slow down.
Yeah.
So when you say success, obviously that is a very
I think the defense statistically –
top 10?
I think if you're expecting top 10, you're probably in for a disappointment in year one.
I tend to agree.
But I think year two, then that's where you can start putting expectations on it. Because one, do we know, is this defense going to stay – and I know that obviously you're talking about a base, and most of the time you're running out of a nickel.
Bingo. It's more of a nickel league.
But there's still a philosophy, and there's still certain players and certain moves. Like Lucas Van Ness would come and put his hand in the ground.
I think Rashawn would too.
Yes, and I think that would be good for both of them.
I tend to agree with you.
So I don't hate this move. Now, Devondre Campbell and Walker aren't maybe the best linebacker. Like Walker's probably more of an outside. But he's more of an outside in this defense.
Probably.
And so that's fine. He's still a talented player in this defense. Campbell probably doesn't fit this defense. But other than that, though, I think you're fine. So maybe a linebacker you
have to beef up at the back, right, overall. So I think that'll be a big emphasis of this.
So first I want to start with that, Alex. Do you have, in your change in general philosophy, do you have a major issue if it is more of a – because if you do run a 4-3, if it's a cover 2, you will run in that more than you will even a 4-2.
Let me put it this way.
4-2-5, yeah.
I don't give a damn about the scheme.
Okay.
The investment level on this defense, and let's just run through the example that you just gave me, right? If they switch it and you've got 4 down linemen, it would go from left to right, ideally. Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary. Tell me what all 4 of those players have in common.
First-round picks.
Bingo.
Yep.
Right? Like, if you are drafted that high, you're expected to perform no matter what scheme you're playing in. And obviously there's scheme fits when you're scouting. And
Gary maybe he's not the best against the run, but you put him in, he'll play 75% of snaps.
He'll get
probably
after the quarterback a little bit more than maybe he has, not putting his hand on, which he did a little bit of.
So you may have to add a few DNs through the draft or fringe free agent types. But
I like what that would look like. I think Van Ness would thrive there. Rashawn, The 2 guys that I'm very curious about how they can bring them to the next level, Hafley, I guess, who can bring these guys to the next level, are 2 names you already mentioned, Rashawn Gary and Quay Walker. Those are 2 guys I want to know how you can bring them to the next level.
And to me, the knock on Barry, especially juxtaposed to Hafley, who we do not have a lot of experience of him as a play caller, is you could be excited that a guy coming from college might be more interested and more capable in developing players. And that's the question. We don't know if Goody's failing on drafting guys who aren't reaching their full potential.
I don't think so.
Or is Joe Barry not bringing the most out of them and developing them? Now, the other question to that...
The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle, right?
And that's my other concern, is that I don't love it in general, just as a general rule, for a new positional coordinator to come in, or a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator to come in, and not bring in their own people. Mm-hmm. And that is something that if he just runs it back with his staff, I think it doesn't mean it's bad, but I'm saying that you will have immediate staff turnover after year one.
I would anticipate some of the staff is back. I wouldn't anticipate all of it being back defensively.
Because I think you're setting yourself up for failure, because if you work with a bunch of guys you don't know that necessarily don't run the scheme,
correct.
After year one, they're probably
a lot of turnover. You're right.
That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, I don't know how it works necessarily, right? Like, it's a little bit different for a guy like Jim Harbaugh who's going from college to the NFL, and I know he brought some of his guys with him, like his defensive coordinator and the strength and conditioning guy who was a Wisconsin guy, Herbert, Ben Herbert, I think his name is.
Yep.
And, so when you're a head coach, it's a little bit easier. When you go from being a head coach at the college level, is it easy to bring some of your defensive staff over? Will there be an internal promotion considering it's February, right? Like, this is a late time for a head coach to leave a college program. That usually happens November, December, and early January, not the last couple days. Actually, I think it was the last day of January that he announced he'd be leaving Boston College. So I don't know what that looks like. I'm very curious to say, but I just feel like it's late.
You could see some players, coaches pulled off, and I don't know exactly who was there when Hafley was with the 49ers, but maybe there's some coaches who have, assistant defensive back coach or an assistant defensive line coach, even off the Ravens. I would look at the staff that had some turnovers, and you might be able to pull some coaches off of who were the assistant secondaries coach, the assistant D-line coach, and maybe they get an opportunity to get promoted up. And I also think if I am LaFleur and Hafley, I love I do like the idea that you have a head coach, a former head coach from Boston College. He's going to be able to basically handle the weight of being able to run that group. Like, he's going to be organized. He's going to be able to handle all that and lead the room. Now, do you have someone who is like a mad scientist type? Mm-hmm. Because to counteract of Hafley's been out of the league for a while. And also Brad Norton brought up that out of the league for a while, he's going to have dubious thoughts. Like, some of the defenders are going to be like, so you got to prove to me you know what you're doing.
He's a player's coach, so that, I think that tends to work to your advantage.
But what Brad is saying is 100% true. You leave the NFL, you go to college. Well,
all due respect, Jim, whose opinion should we respect the most when it comes to what happens in an NFL locker room? Mine, yours, or Brad Norton?
Brad Norton, yes. And I think Chris would say the same thing. It doesn't mean you can't overcome it.
Right.
It's just everyone's got these beige and green and red flags, and like a beige one would be like, he's been out of the league for a little bit.
I agree with beige. I wouldn't call that a red flag.
No.
The other beige flag is he's never run his own defense, right? Yep. He was coordinator in Ohio State. He was a head coach, and head coach in college football in 2023 is a hell of a lot different than it was in 2003, right? So, he's overseeing like fundraising and internal recruitment, right? Making sure your guys stay. And he put together a really nice transfer portal class. I think it ranked 18th in the country going into next season. So you're spending so much time on some of the other tedious details that take up so much time as a head coach in college football, where he could just come and be about ball in Green Bay. And it sounds like, from what I've been able to read and watch in different interviews I've seen him in over the course of the last 48 or so hours, is this guy is about ball. And that's why he essentially took what is viewed kind of as a demotion, right? He goes from a head coach at a Power 5 school to a defensive coordinator in the NFL. A demotion of sorts, right? Obviously, the league is a promotion, but positionally, it's a demotion, right? He's going back to a coordinator. And that's why he wanted to take the jump, is because he wasn't coaching ball as much as he wanted to collegiately, where in the NFL, that's what he can focus on. So, I don't know. I think his background is really fascinating. I think it's really interesting.
I think
he's really well-rounded.
Yeah,
right?
I would say it's just a wait and see hire.
They usually are at coordinator,
right? There's certain ones like you'd feel like a Vic Fan, even if he's coming off a bad one. A Fangio comes in.
Sure.
Even Staley would be a little bit less of a wait and see, but or it'd be a different level of excitement. You'd feel like you're on like the cutting edge of something fresh.
Yeah, and also we're biased because we know.
Right, but even if you added like Wilson from the Ravens, you're bringing someone from like the most prolific defense for like the last 20 years.
Yeah, true that.
And so like that's a culture change. That's the other knock against this hire, and I'm not saying it's bad. This is not a bringing in a Ravens or 49ers guy who, it's that defense, it's a long time
He was
ago.
a 49ers guy, but
Robert Saleh.
Not last year.
I don't even know what those defenses did.
They were solid.
Okay, but
They
probably
were-
not the first year under Chip Kelly.
No.
So he was there for 2 years with Shanahan.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Saleh overlapped or if he
Yep.
was there all 3 years. So
yeah, I think they overlapped. When Saleh left, I think he left.
okay, but I mean, so I don't know if Saleh was there for 3 years. Like, was he there with Chip Kelly or not?
I don't know if
So that part of it. So, and the secondary is coaching that defense. It's lower on the totem pole of running it.
Yeah, it is.
And he's far removed from it.
Yeah.
But again, I think this is. I would definitely not kill
But
the
you call
hire.
it beige.
Yes, there's a fair amount of beige flags, but I don't think it's a bad hire. I mean, Homer's calling it Joe Barry again. Like, do you miss Joe Barry? That's a Homer's take on it.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, it's all over social media. He's been like, "Do you miss Joe Barry now?"
No.
And I
don't.
There's going to be immediate hate. It's very much, and I've said this before. We are mirrored. It's the same way I feel about Getsy in Chicago, and Shane Waldron. That's my new guy. And I will find everything I want to like about it. You can people say I'm upset about him, but then Pro Football Focus has him as the 6th-ranked coordinator to get a head coaching job next year.
Interesting.
So this is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What's happening, Madison? I'm Alex Gravatt. This is your Sports Center, brought to you by Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania. One of the state's top recruits is featured in a Friday night showcase with Devon Hanna and the Nicolay Knights visiting Cedarburg. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on 100.5 and the ESPN Madison and Milwaukee YouTube channels. That's tonight. But yesterday, the Brewers dealt Cy Young winner Corbin Burnes to the Baltimore Orioles in an exchange for left-hander DL Hall, infielder Joey Ortiz, and the 34th pick in the 2024 draft. Burnes was set to hit free agency after this season. We'll keep it right in Milwaukee, where the Bucks have the day off after losing to the Trailblazers 116-119 in Dame Lillard's first trip to Portland since moving to Milwaukee this offseason. The Bucks are now 0-2 under the new head coach, Doc Rivers. But they'll have a chance to right the ship against Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavs tomorrow night, who may be without Kyrie Irving. ESPN's matchup predictor gives the Bucks a 62.3% chance of winning. Tip is Saturday at 7:30, and coverage starts right here on 100.5 at 7 p.m. But more, Rutledge and Hamilton right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got the chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
People like me.
That's some booty, Jim.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage.
The next day, he's like, my Achilles feels great. And that dolphin's pregnant.
Buy another dolphin.
Come on, man. Ayahuasca.
Facts don't lie.
Even if it was like a quote tweet.
I like quote tweets.
Let me stop you there. Hold on. You can't say that for two reasons.
My name is Jeff.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio with Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
It's got to be tough to be a Brewers fan. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Hunter Vaughn, who apparently called me out on your show, Alex Strouf, Mr. Irrelevant.
He didn't call you out. He gave you a compliment.
A compliment. I mean, he told me about it. I mean, called me out, like called out what he knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, and he was right. Go ahead and say it.
Yes, I will in a second. Alex G behind the glass. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studios. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's Crush, Coors Light.
And Corbin Burnes trade, really, in my opinion, one, it's just got to be a kick in the junk for
big time
Brewers fans, because they also kind of teased you because they signed, is it Reyes?
Reese.
I've heard it, honestly, like, I thought it was...
It's just spelled weird. Right? Like, Reese is typically R-E-E-C-E. It's R-H-Y-S.
Yeah, so
it's Reese.
Reese. And that move, I think people thought was going to be a move of like, oh, my goodness, they're going to take a step forward. Because if you don't know who Reese Hoskins is that he is a player. Honestly, it's similar, a little different because of injury, but what Cody Bellinger was for the Cubs last year. So Cody Bellinger, who, oh, by the way, if the Brewers were a legit organization, would have just signed themselves because he signed for a $10 million deal in Chicago. And I maintain the Brewers would have been in the World Series if they spent $10 million more and signed Cody Bellinger, who was a legitimate dark horse for MVP. Shout out, Rip Rona. And so they brought in Reese Hoskins, and everyone's like, well, now they got this guy that fills a hole at first base.
Oh, yeah.
And then they literally pulled the old rope-a-dope on you because instead Hoskins is just trade bait. Because as soon as they traded Corbin Burns, their season's cooked. You already don't have Woodruff. Now Burns is gone, so you don't have a pitching staff to compete. And we've seen The Athletic, other places reporting that Adames could be a guy traded.
I'm okay with that one.
And then also Devin Williams could be a guy traded.
Devin Williams' name has popped up, which scares me. So I don't know what the hell they're doing, right?
They're burning it down right now.
To your point, they go make their biggest free agent splash in recent memory. Maybe since they brought Lorenzo Cain back would be my guess. Like, Yelich was a trade in the offseason. In terms of an actual free agent signing, I don't remember the biggest a splash this big in the last 4 or 5 years. I would say Cain probably the last big one. Reese Hoskins, I think it was 2 years, 64 or something like that. Like, it was a big dollar sign.
It's a really 1 year deal because if Hopkins does well, he'll leave.
Yeah, and the thing with him is, you mentioned it. He's an everyday first baseman. He's a 30 home run guy. The last year he's healthy 2 years ago. He's in a hitter-friendly park, right? Oh, boy, AmFam Field. Whoops. Is very friendly to hitters. So, when they signed him last week, I'm like, holy smokes, they're going in. Like, they're not complacent with a first-place finish last year. They're trying to stick it to their old manager who left them for your Cubbies,
Cubs
Jim.
fans were a little bit like, oh, what are the Cubs going to do? If Hoskins is going, that was a guy the Cubs looked at. Instead, they traded for a prospect from the Dodgers instead to play him at first base. But they're like, well, they being cheap again. What's going on? Like, Cubs fans are getting a little bit antsy with the signing. And now the Brewers are, barring a miracle, an afterthought. And honestly, it would be organizational malpractice not to trade away anything you can right now. Because if you have one starting pitcher.
They're doing a weird thing for the future, which I just don't go. But continue, sorry.
But to me, Hoskins screams, hopefully this guy hits and we can trade him for prospects.
Yeah.
And that's not horrible because, I mean, using the team that I follow, the Cubs, as an example, and I can't remember the exact player, but they traded a player that they signed, like a 1 year free agent guy, to the Baltimore Orioles a long time ago. They got Jake Arrieta and then 2 middle relievers out of it who were part of the World Series team. So this move is a classic baseball move. The problem I have with it, it was a bait and switch.
Yeah, but this is a first-place team from a year ago. And I understand you're not going to have Woodruff, who's still a free agent. And I understand now Corbin Burns, a former Cy Young Award winner, by the way, traded for... The Hall's interesting. Like, I don't understand baseball as well as I do, like, the NBA or the NFL. But you get a top 65 prospect and a shortstop, Joey Ortiz.
Which is getting killed because if you trade Burns, you should have gotten one of the top 5 prospects in the Orioles organization. So I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
But my understanding is it's being viewed as a poor trade. I mean, obviously, you never know how it's going to work out.
Of course.
But the Brewers weren't able to pull a top 5 prospect from the
and
Orioles.
DL Hall, I don't know much about, but he's a lefty. Like, you add him to the rotation, great. And then they call it a competitive balance round A pick, which, if in NFL terms, is essentially a compensatory pick, which is just outside of the first round. It's at 34th overall as it stands right now. But not only do you trade Burns, you trade him to a 100-win team from a year ago, right? So Corbin Burns is going from a first-place team that is clearly complacent and has never really traditionally spent a lot of money in free agency to get to that next level, to a legitimate championship contender. So Corbin Burns, I don't know if you saw this, Jimmy, tweeted for the first time in a year and a half, 4 minutes after this news came out yesterday. And he just tweeted the shush emoji, right? Like shush emoji and the fire emoji. And that was it. He broke out Twitter for the first time in a year and a half because he's happy to be out of Milwaukee.
Yeah, this is just an overall bad look. The Brewers organization is cheaper than they need to be. And I understand competitive imbalance. Look, it affects everyone. As a Cubs fan, they're going to spend money. They're still not spending anywhere close to the amount of money that the Dodgers and the Yankees will spend. So that exists. But at the same time, There are plenty of teams that win the World Series in non-major markets that spend more money than the Milwaukee Brewers. And yes, they screwed up on the Yelich signing because even though now he's come around to be a solid or slightly above average baseball player, you needed him to be a star, and he isn't. And so, that's a concern. So the Brewers pitching staff last year, the number one in starts was Corbin Burns. Freddie Peralta they will have. Wade Miley is back, I believe.
Wade Miley, yes.
And then you have Hauser, and you have Ray.
Adrian Hauser
and Colin Ray.
Colin Ray, who actually had a pretty nice season last year, kind of out of nowhere. But you'll compete. You need bats, and that's what the Rhys Hoskins edition is.
And, by the way, you don't have your magical manager. Like, Counsell has a reputation as a guy who would be a 5 to 6 win manager.
Hey, don't knock my assistant, my guy Ricky Weeks, man. That's what everybody's excited about.
I like the Brewers staff. But I'm saying you still could, it's the same idea why the Cubs moved off of David Ross. So David Ross is fine. The Brewers would have had him as an upgrade over what they currently have. But when you have an opportunity to get Craig Counsell as being viewed as one of the best managers in baseball, you just do it. James in Connecticut chiming in on this free agency for the Packers. He wants the Packers to go out and sign Devin White as the middle linebacker if they switch.
I don't know what he would run for. I'd be into it. I really liked him coming out of the draft a couple years back, probably more than a couple years at this point. But we'll see. I don't know. Like, as we talked about, it was interesting to hear Goody say yesterday that he feels like he has some financial freedom and they can go sign impact players. But what does that mean? Is it the low-risk, high-reward moves, or is it a real swing like Zadarius Smith was in his first season as the GM? So I'm intrigued to see what that means.
Devin White last year, basically his salary was $11 million. And so I would say, and his deal when he first, I think it was his rookie deal, 4 years, $30 million. So I think you're looking at a guy about $10 million a year is probably right. I don't know his exact production, but I'd say I might go higher. I guess I don't know exactly how productive he was, but he's going to be an expensive player. That's probably your guy.
You're probably right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it'd be a bigger swing. But if you're going to switch your defense, why not get a guy who's been versed in this defense? Like, that would be the case for doing that. You never need a specific case to go to Chalmers Jewelers. You could be in the doghouse. You might want to stay out of the doghouse. You got Valentine's Day coming up. You got Mother's Day coming up. You got engagements that maybe you want to get involved with. Maybe you want to get yourself a watch. Whatever it is, go to Chalmers Jewelers in Madison or in Middleton. They are Madison's custom jeweler. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Watch every show live and for free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers, with positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
She wasn't like, oh my God, the show can't go on without Rachel.
If you trade Rachel to the Raiders, and you've got Lisa
Kudrow Lazard as your number one. I'm not sure viewership is the same.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because our home policies help protect your dreams and come with peace of mind. Save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Dancing Goat Distillery of Cambridge.
Oh, I like this one too.
So you were a hater on this idea of Fish Friday.
All right. I will admit, because I'm a nice guy, I finally came around, like they just said. Some of them.
Wow.
You still got some misses. But
well, you can throw in some.
You've got some hits. I don't know Fish very well either, as G proclaimed earlier in the show. They're okay. I've come around to the idea of it. It is kind of jammy, like good vibes on a Friday. I'll give you that.
And we're still waiting for people to bring us in fish fries.
Oh, I had fish today. I had fish for lunch.
Oh, yeah? How was it?
It's okay. It was from the hot bar across the street at the grocery store.
I'm going to say it's disgusting.
No,
No offense to the hot bar.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, that's probably a better word choice, but it was good. It was just some fried cod, which, is that what Matt pooped on last week?
Yeah, he's anti-cod.
Or was it haddock that he was anti?
No, anti-cod, because we said the
I like
cod
cod.
sounds like a Wisconsin STD.
Oh, yeah, I did hear you say that while I was driving, and it made me laugh. I almost drove off the road when I heard you say that. And then you did your Wisconsin accent. Yeah, that was funny. I heard that last night.
Yeah. Well, thankfully none of us have the cod, but who knows after we go pole dancing.
Hey,
We asked and you answered.
What?
Coming to the stage, it's pole dancing on Rutledge and Hamilton.
Hey now.
Presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
All right, so every week, one of us lovely producers goes up and down the dial. We find the best, most unanswerable questions that you've asked across ESPN Wisconsin, and we're going to start in Milwaukee with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. It's a weird one, and you know me, I'm weird. So if one of these were to exist, which do you think is most likely to exist? The jackalope, the Loch Ness Monster, or Sasquatch?
Is
Jim?
it bad? I don't know what the jackalope is.
I honestly kind of thought the jackalope was real, but the only reason I know it isn't is because I think my girls get Go-Gurts, and they do like little quizzes, and they'll be like, which one of these things aren't real? I would go, you said the Loch Ness Monster was on there?
Yeah, Nessie makes the list. 25% of people said Nessie.
I have a Sasquatch air freshener in my car.
My camper, on the back of it, the wheel cover says, the Yeti or Sasquatch doesn't believe in you either. It's what mine says. So I would say I'm going to go with the Loch Ness Monster. I love this stuff as a kid. I used to get the books on Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and all these sort of things. It would not. There's so many strange things in the ocean that I don't think it's around anymore, but it would not have shocked me that for a while there was some sort of prehistoric or borderline prehistoric family line that was in that lake. So that's the one I think would be the most likely to be a real thing.
Huh. I'd go Loch Ness Monster.
Isn't a jackalope just a rabbit with horns?
I don't know. I've never heard of that. That's the first time I've ever heard that term.
It was in a Scooby-Doo movie. I'm sure you've heard of it.
I wasn't a huge Scooby-Doo guy. Although I have been told I look like Shaggy.
Raggy?
Yeah, I've been told I look like him. Is it Shaggy or Raggy?
Well, it's Shaggy, but
But
the
he
thing
says
about
Raggy.
yeah, because he can't say everything is R with him. With Scooby-Doo. Ruby Roo, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's not a bad impression, Jay.
Thanks, man.
Zoinks!
What would be more disappointing? Giannis only winning one championship, 55.4%. Sorry, this was KBN, by the way. Or Love never winning one, 44.6%. Strouf, start us off.
It's Giannis. Didn't we already do this?
Was this done on Crosstalk?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out VMix. This is a whole new thing.
VMix is the video.
Oh, don't worry about it, yes.
We'll jump to the next one then. KBN also asked, would you be okay with the Packers defense finishing between 12th and 17th in total defense next season? No waste of time, 50.4%.
Ooh.
Yes, transition year.
Well, first off,
49.6.
round of applause. That means it's a good poll.
Yeah.
49 versus 50. But I'm a yes. I would be okay with 12 through 17 because Jim and I talked about it a little bit earlier. I don't really expect them to take a ginormous leap. I mean, I'd obviously rather them closer to 12 than 17, but I expect them to be better, at least towards the end of the year. But I don't expect this thing to be perfect week one either, right? Like, I have reasonable expectations. I'm happy with the hire. They did their due diligence. They did their research. They went through multiple interviews with multiple candidates, and they brought in a guy that's totally qualified, even if he wasn't their first option. So I want to give them time, and I'm not going to judge I'm not, as they say, I'm not going to judge the book by its cover. And by that, I mean I'm not going to judge this defense by their week one performance. I'm going to judge them by week 13 on, right? And that's kind of what I call the Joe Barry territory, right? Like after week 13, that's when the defense typically picked up its pace under Joe Barry. I imagine it might be more of the same in year one under Jeff Hafley.
I actually would not be upset about it. Well, honestly, I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to be right there. I do think in year two you can set the expectation and have real optimism that this defense could leap forward, especially even if they finish like, let's say, 13th. But they finish 13th in a way that you feel like, hey, more players that fit the scheme, we can feel comfortable about it. But we also know that the defense does not have to be elite if Jordan Love continues to grow with the offense there. So the defense just has to be serviceable. Because remember, how many defenses did Joe Barry coordinate when the Packers, was it one?
Two
NFC Championship games? That's what I was asking.
Oh, how many did he coordinate in?
Like, yeah, how many he was a coordinator for how many did they get to? 1?
0.
They didn't.
Divisional round.
21, 22, 23. Divisional round against San Francisco, divisional round against San Francisco. That's it.
Wow, that's been that long since the Packers been in the NFC Championship game?
2020 was the last time when they lost to Tampa.
And that was Pettin?
That was Pettin.
Wow. Still, got them to the playoffs. What if the Packers miss the playoffs next year? And they finish 15th.
I got to be honest, that's more on the floor than Hafley, in my opinion.
If they finish like 14th, 15th in defense? This is all on the floor. This isn't on Hafley to begin with. Like, if the floor hires the bad coach, it's done.
Yeah, but it's not.
His track record hiring coach is a little dicey.
It's a little dicey. I would agree with that. But overall, no. I don't do it that way. I would say if they miss the playoffs, it's an offense thing. It's not going to be. Unless they rank 29th. Like, you have to understand, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The expectations for the offense in 24 versus the expectations for the defense in 24. Which are higher?
The offense.
So if they're not making the playoffs with this offense that's supposed to take a step after what we just witnessed, that is a complete and utter failure. And that might cost LaFleur his job.
Not for a while.
I think he's probably safe for
He's got
1 year
2
at
years.
least.
He's got 2 years.
I think he constantly probably does. But you got to win a big game too. And if you're only winning 7 or 8 games, right? Because 9 and 8 probably gets you in the playoffs next year. Maybe 10 and 7 at worst. But the Packers should be that. They play the AFC South.
They play a tougher schedule next year than they will.
They get free wins. They get free wins against Tennessee and Indy, likely. They get free wins against Minnesota and Chicago, at least one of each.
Indy's good.
Richardson's coming off an injury. It depends on how the schedule shakes out.
Depends when you play. If you play the Colts later.
If you play in Week 15, it's different than Week 2, right? So I still view them as better than both those teams. Houston and at Lambeau, by the way, that better be a Sunday night game. Give me Stroud and Love on the big stage. That excites me. But yeah, it falls more on the offense than it does the defense to miss the playoffs.
All right, we got one from the personal Twitter accounts. Alex Strouf asks.
Oh, I know him.
What's the worst way to sign an email? Warm regards, 48%. Cheers, 22.5%. Best, 18.6%. And sincerely, 10.8%. That is
you
the
can go off the
worst
board
way.
with this too if you have another thought.
I like yours. Cheers. Unless you work in the beer or liquor industry, not cheers.
All right, so you left off a sentence I put in this poll.
I did see your sentence. I was going to...
My sentence was I'm guilty of at least one of these. And Jim, I've emailed you enough.
Yeah.
You know which one I'm guilty of?
I love you is what you said, right?
No. I said, somebody tweeted and said love, like signed love Alex.
Gotcha,
would be a weird way to sign a work email. And I tagged you and I said, I've definitely sent love to Jim Rutledge just to make him uncomfortable.
But it doesn't make me uncomfortable.
The one on my poll that I was guilty of was Cheers. That's my go-to.
Cheers, it's just...
It's kind of douchey.
Yeah. And I knew someone that actually used to work here that would put Cheers in his emails. And I like him. But that was a thing that he was also a little douchey. Like, you can like people who are a little
That's what
douchey.
I do. I'm a little douchey. It's fine.
Guys, I went on a
Cheers guy.
backpacking trip with ran into some dude from Ireland, and now I use Cheers because he says Cheers for everything, and I
Okay.
thought it was endearing.
I think it's endearing, too.
If you work in the beer industry, like I work with plenty of friends that work in the beer and liquor industry, and they say Cheers, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that adds up. And actually, somebody that replied to my poll said they work in that, so they sign that all the time, which I get.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. But I want to become great at email etiquette. And I don't want to be necessarily a one-trick pony, so now like I'm kind of thinking the reverse of this. Like, what's the
Are you
best
sad
way?
where your life is gone? I mean, this is not in a bad way. I just
What
mean
the hell's
like
that supposed to mean?
Like, email etiquette is so boring and lame, and I get why you have to do it. We all have to do it. But
We
it
all send a
sucks.
lot of emails
I know,
around
but
here.
it like sucks. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like it's not like nobody's like when I grow up, I want to send out a bunch of emails and care about how I sign it. It's not personal to you. Look, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you don't make a bad point. But no, like I overall, I love my job.
Right. But there's certain parts. Like I love my job too, but I'm like every time I looked at LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, this stinks.
I'm a
This
LinkedIn
is
guy.
the
Dude, I
lamest
actually
thing on
got
the face of
caught.
the earth.
I was at the bar last weekend, and somebody walked up to me and they go, "What the bleep are you doing on LinkedIn at 1 a.m.?" And I go,
You're on LinkedIn at 1 a.m.,
It's not a dating
turning down
site.
booty calls at 12:30, and then trying to go to a groundhog festival?
and
Get it
and
together,
practicing
Alex.
email etiquette. I have to be Madison's most eligible bachelor. I have to be.
You're the oldest bachelor, I tell you that.
The
Good
oldest
Lord.
25-year-old in the history of the world. I'm an old
Goodness.
soul.
I'm a man.
So
I'm 40.
anyway, I'm trying to figure out because I like having a consistent email signature. But the fact that Cheers took second place. By the way, what does warm regards even mean? That's my pick here.
That one's weird too.
But Cheers was always my go-to. Like sometimes I'll hit it with a thanks or like talk soon or whatever. But Cheers is the one I've used the most for
So
sure.
if I'm sending
my
something
email
out
career.
that's like a like asking for something or meeting or thanks for considering.
I like that.
Thanks
I
for
like
your
that.
time's a big one for me.
Yeah.
It's too simple. That reminds me of like a sincerely Alex, right? Like
Thanks for your time. More words than thanks for considering. Is too simple.
All too simple. Like it's just so basic is more what I mean, right? Cheers adds a little flair. It's like, oh, he's goofy and fun. I like that, and that's kind of the vibe I like to go for because that's me, right? Like I'm not too serious. I'm not a serious professional.
Do you own a suit?
Yeah, I own two.
Okay.
I
But
just
I
don't
just-
wear them. I typically wear
I just
hoodies
want
and khakis.
to. I just wanted to point out, and it's not to you. It's just a sad place that we all reach of like caring about fonts, email signatures, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's just nobody wants this. Like you all do it, but like nobody aspired for this. It's
Okay.
all the dirty work of our
I
jobs.
agree
We all
with
love
all
our
of it.
jobs, but those are all stupid.
I
things.
agree with all of it, but I'm pro LinkedIn. I
What
think
the
LinkedIn
hell
is a
do you
great
like
app.
about LinkedIn?
I like seeing what everybody else is up to, right? Like we have
It's literally Facebook for your business. You just lie
Right, I
about
like
what you
that.
do in business.
Well, you don't lie.
Yeah, you do. You just
tell the
make stuff
truth.
up and no, you hype yourself up on there. It's all BS.
I don't post on there. I just like reading other people's
It's
posts.
all just self-serving BS on there.
I love that part's not completely
It's
untrue.
Facebook, but instead of bragging about your family and your dating life, and
Okay, you know what?
inflate that. It's for your work life.
Hey,
You
Jim,
know what? But it's not a bad call.
It's 100% right.
just so you know, Instagram is what that is now.
For instead of if you're
We're
talking
not
about
on
Facebook one-
Instagram, or we're not on Facebook.
Right.
I'm on Facebook.
But here's the thing: the people who are on LinkedIn are also allowed on Facebook,
Yeah, that's the same demographic, right? Like your age.
and apparently you.
I'm a star-studded
I
professional.
begrudgingly, honestly, Alex, I'm gonna say this. I mean this sincerely as well. You're too good for LinkedIn. Like LinkedIn is for people who people don't actually want to follow or know. Like you have a social media following.
I do, yeah.
You have a radio show. Like LinkedIn is for people who aren't interesting.
Wow. I don't know that that's true either, though, because I see a lot of interesting people. Mark Cuban is on LinkedIn. He's
Yeah, but he's
interesting.
also on social media.
Yeah, that's. But he
I mean, that's-
actively. I follow him on LinkedIn. I feel like he uses that more than Twitter.
He's on multiple platforms.
Him and Elon got into a little tiff, so that makes sense why he's not on there. I don't know. I like LinkedIn, but yeah. To be real honest with you, I was drunk and had a lot of Coors Lights on Saturday. I was watching the Royal Rumble, WWE. Was that 2 weeks ago or this week? That was this past weekend. And we went out after the Royal Rumble, and I was drinking some Coors Lights, and I just saw that I had like 3 notifications on LinkedIn, so I popped it open just to see what they were.
God, I'll tell you what. I don't know about you guys, but if I see if I get like a message on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh God, what is this? It's usually someone trying to sell something.
I have 2,000 connections on LinkedIn.
You have 130 unread texts.
I don't have that many.
And you're opening for 3 notifications on LinkedIn?
I don't even know how many. Where do you even see?
I have 1 LinkedIn notification. I have 12 Facebook Messenger notifications. I have 2 Twitter notifications. I have 85 unread texts. I have 2 TikTok
how
notifications.
How many connections do you have on LinkedIn?
2,200, I think.
Get a life, man.
Let me look.
I have
5 invites.
and I don't know who any of these people are.
The number 14 marketer on LinkedIn wants to connect with me.
That was the notification?
I lied. I have 1,590 connections.
Okay, you still got me beat.
Cool.
I don't know who any of these people are.
I'm going to add a couple more, though. Here,
There's people on here, I don't know who they are.
Vice President of Business Development, I'll accept that. Number 14 marketer on LinkedIn, I'll accept that.
What does that mean? That's what I mean. That's just made up.
So now I'm up to 1,590 connections.
It's just
on
a
LinkedIn.
made up thing.
How do you measure what number marketer you are on LinkedIn?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
How does she know she's number 14?
There's so much scams on it of people like, my whole existence is to be on LinkedIn and then I'll just sell myself as a LinkedIn advisor. You don't need one.
You know what? I'm really realizing I'm not an eligible bachelor.
Everyone can go add Alex Strouf on LinkedIn. Slide into his DMs now.
I'll add you. I'll add you back. I would love to connect on LinkedIn. Let's get this number up to 1,600 before we're off the air.
I do not want to connect on LinkedIn.
Let's get up.
I'm at Jim Rutledge on Twitter or on my TikTok. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
It's a state recruiting showcase Friday night on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania. 2025 recruit Davion Hanna and Nicolay visit Cedarburg. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, Pasquale's Cantina, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
Julie, you've been here at Pasquale's for a while. What comes to mind when you think of Pasquale's Cantina?
Fun, fresh, local, and the best margaritas in town.
Ah, yes, and that's because we have the largest tequila selection in Madison and the surrounding area. For me, I love that we're Madison's favorite friends and family gathering spot.
That's because of our great customers who have followed Pasquale's over the years. So for me, it's our guests that make Pasquale's Cantina.
Bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina.
Mark Tauscher here. Join me and all the fans who enjoy playing Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. Basketball season in full swing and the big game coming up in Vegas. Prize Picks now features combo projections that include players from different sports and leagues. And if you're worried about selecting a player that might miss some playing time with an injury, well, I've got good news. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. If your football or basketball selection gets hurt in the first half and doesn't return in the second, that player is rebooted in your selection. Prize Picks is so easy to play, which is what makes it great. Pick 2 to 6 players, and it takes less than 60 seconds to select an entry, even for Old T. And Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay for quick and easy deposits into your account. Sign up today at prizepicks.com or on the Prize Picks app and use the promo code WI for an instant deposit match of up to $100. That's code WI. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tusher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Well, you thinking about updating your bath or shower? Turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling, where Kohler design consultants and installers do the work for you. Family-owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday, and we will let you know where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes. To celebrate our love for dive bars, me and Matt are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like Tootsie's Bar and Grill, Jerry's Place, Cahoots, and Red Mouse.
Every Thursday this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, live from the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company.
Hey, it's Alex Strouf. The week of the big game is finally here. Kansas City, San Francisco. We'll be breaking it down Thursday on the Great Dane Huddle, live from the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company on the east side of Madison. Join me, former Badgers, Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler, beginning at 6 o'clock this Thursday on 100.5 ESPN.
The Great Dane Huddle with Alex Strouf, Tarek Saleh, and Derek Engler. Thursdays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN. Welcome back to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jeremy, is this you? We got a text here that says, just sent Stroufster a LinkedIn request.
All right, Jeremy, I'm happy to report you and I are now connected on LinkedIn. Shout out to you, Jeremy. Thanks for listening.
All right, I'm adding Jeremy to the list here then. I'm going to guess that's Jeremy.
Jeremy and Madison, you got it. Cool job. I'm not going to read it on the air, but cool job, Jeremy. Would like to learn more about that.
What type of work does he do?
I don't want to call him out. I feel like
Give like a
private.
loose idea of it.
Now I got to go back into LinkedIn. I shut my phone off. Hold
He
on.
already forgot.
Give me a second. No.
I feel like
It's a
you just
very
said
specific title, so I got to figure it out.
Give me the field.
Veteran Affairs.
Okay. There you go. That's all right.
Yeah.
Just give a broad view of it.
There you go. How's that for an answer?
That's it.
Okay, great.
844-770-3776. How you get into the show, and then you can link in with Alex Strouf all you want.
I am not thrilled with your negative outlook on LinkedIn. I think it's a good app. Like, look, I'm taking Twitter over it. I'm taking TikTok over it. I'll probably take Facebook over it. But, like, social media, and you got to remember, I'm Gen Z, dude, so I'm, like, on everything, right? I think everything has their perks. I think LinkedIn has its perks.
And they are?
I think it's good for connecting. It's a little bit forced sometimes, of course. But I think, like, for Jeremy, for example, right? Like, I would have never known about the line of work he's in had I not connected with Jeremy. So Jeremy's probably going to get a message from me. And I'll say, dude, I'm just interested, right? Like, I think it's an interesting role. Tell me more about it. I can learn more. I can get wiser on LinkedIn. I think it is a good educational
So in this
app.
specific case, someone's listening on the radio, because if you meet someone out, they give you a business card and they have an email on it. So you can just email them and have an email relationship with them and not put it out in the world that you are also LinkedIn together, right?
Well, it's not like super public if you're on LinkedIn with somebody. It's like a
But I
messaging
mean, is
app.
that like if they gave you a card, like to go type in a name on LinkedIn and then link in with them, you could also just email them and then you have that relationship with them, right?
Theoretically, yeah.
No, not theoretically. Yes, like it's a real thing. Like that's what you would do.
All right. So the thing I love about you, Jimmy, which I love a lot about you. You and I are obviously good friends, but I love how stubborn and negative you are about some things.
People like
and
me.
like you will hit the nail as many times as you can until you firmly get your negative view across. Until the point of like, I'm like, all right, fine, I see what he's saying. You know what? He's so damn stubborn. I'm kind of getting what he's saying. I feel bad for your wife, but like I get it from this point of view. Yeah,
it's specific to you because you're so damn optimistic. I got to remind you that this world is not.
Why can't you just let me be happy? Right? Like, you are a joy killer. That is what you were so good at. But, like, you do have to remember, like, I do have a little bit of an ego. I am a little bit overly optimistic. Like, some people, shut up, G. Some people have to bring me back down to earth. And, Jim, I got to give you credit. You're probably number one in the AP poll when it comes to terms of bringing Strouf down back to earth. You're probably number one there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sorry. I was just caught up in the LinkedIn world here, and I just wanted to, just see all this exciting stuff.
Are you actually on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything? Mark Cuban pop up? I liked his post earlier today.
Someone got a new role at a place I'm not going to name of some made-up title specific to their agency. So there you go. There's one.
Good for them. Say congrats.
No. I don't know who it is.
Why don't you like you do not like basking in other people's success very much. I've noticed this about you. Because I think your mindset, and correct me if I'm wrong, is like, hey, we're all going through life. We all have changes sometimes. I don't need to hear about it. Right? Like, that's kind of your mindset.
Well, if I know you out, but I don't know this person.
Okay, fair.
I can congratulate someone I don't know.
There's an Instagram page called Kids Getting Hurt, and I guarantee he follows it.
No, I don't want to see kids get hurt.
It's just kids falling off bikes.
Oh, that's a little harsh on me.
No,
I'm just saying that I don't know this person.
The thing with G is he has some messed up social media habits. Like
Apparently.
he sends me stuff pretty regularly.
You're one of the top 5, yeah.
And I'm like, where the hell did he get this from? And some of it's fascinating.
Like, for an example here.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna like this one. I'll like sometimes. I'm not gonna comment. Comment, I feel like at times is just for yourself. Like, why am I commenting? You don't know me. I'll like it.
Give a sincere congrats.
What are we doing?
That's then you're doing it for you. Like, they don't know. If someone I don't know just says congrats and they don't know what they're talking about, I'm gonna be like, whatever. Just if you want to like it, that's fine. So someone pointed out Kodiak Cakes, Travis Kelce, Operation Breakthrough. They donated 25,000 meals to local children. So I gave it a like.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess if it's a business, maybe I wouldn't say congrats.
Well, I mean,
but
someone
Travis Kelce's kind of your boy these days.
Right, but someone at the business point.
Him and his girlfriend are getting you a big TicTok following. Like,
If
maybe
you
you should
keep
listen to
liking
Him and his
his
girlfriend.
stuff,
Who's
he
this
could
guy?
join the show.
Who's this guy?
I'm just trying to get under your skin.
We need to get George Kittle on the show. Friend of Matt Hamilton. We joined the show last.
He did.
Big Bears fan, George Kittle.
I think he's a little busy right now.
Did you see him on the Pat McAfee show? But it's Super Bowl week, so he does the Radio Row. Should probably get him next week.
Players don't do Radio Row.
They do some big interviews, though.
Sometimes, yeah. They'll do, some of the bigger shows.
Yeah, they'll do, but they'll do,
Rutledge and Hamilton.
Yeah.
You going to Vegas?
I should. No, I'm not going to Vegas. I will go if the Bears ever go to the Super Bowl. I'll go to the Super Bowl.
That's it? Packers, too, I assume?
If the work is sending me, yeah.
Well, that's.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
for
implying
sure.
that.
Yeah, for sure. But on a
I would
personal
imagine
level,
if the Packers go, a lot of us would go.
That'd be nice. Yeah. I'll go. I mean, Super Bowl's always a good time.
Jimmy,
even
if you and I were in Vegas together, no kids, no wife, it's just you.
All right.
What do you think that's turning into? Let's just say 3 days. Me and you, just me and you. Nobody else. No Matt, no Chris, no G, no Ryan.
Hey.
Sorry. It's just me and Jimmy, 3-day weekend in Vegas. What do you think that turns into?
The problem is I don't know how much I can hang, but I think it'd be a good time. Like the gambling, the drinking, having a good time would be fun. I just don't. My worry would be how much do I bounce back? Because I'm not very.
So do you think I
don't have much of a callus built up anymore.
Do you think I'm doubling your Coors Light intake?
Yeah, easy.
Tripling?
Could be. And Coors Light would be the way to go because that's beer is what I can handle. And I can carry it through the night. I hear they have oxygen masks out there and everything.
They do?
Yeah, you can go in the oxygen bars and that's a big thing.
Oh, sure, I have seen that.
Why do you both look at me?
You just seem like you know this type of stuff.
I've never been to Vegas.
I was 14 when I was there. I have family out there.
I guess I drove through it once.
That doesn't count.
And that was Jaron's son Prayer, actually.
Oh, I've actually met Jaron's son Prayer. I met him at a sub place once.
Rob Madison says we'd be crying that we miss our wives and your fake girlfriend.
I don't have a girlfriend, nor a fake one.
Well, you can take your real wife or real girlfriend and go by yourself to Ritz Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. They'll
hang out with Lee.
They'll take you however you want to go. You can go by yourself, bring a date, get stood up. Whatever happens, you could cry away your tears. Go to the Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl happy hour. Get yourself a...
It's too real, isn't it, Strouf?
I'm not responding.
It would be embarrassing to get stood up. Lee would be here's the thing. Lee over at Roost. If you got stood up anywhere, you'd want to be stood up at Roost.
Yeah, that's true because I could hang out with Lee.
Right.
But also,
I mean, he'd make you feel good.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't think I'll ever be stood up in my life. I don't think I will ever be stood up. I think I would get. I think I would get a heads up prior.
Can I?
Similarly to what happened.
I'm going to put a request out there to our audience. Can someone just do this to Alex? You can catfish him. I don't even care.
Humble his ass.
Yeah, just
slide in on LinkedIn where he's dating.
Yeah. Because this guy apparently is lurking in LinkedIn
Hold on
DMs.
a minute. Let's not get this twisted. I am not dating on LinkedIn. I have Tinder, G. I'm 25.
So you're linking in there?
I'm linking.
Well,
maybe
hopefully in. This is Rutledge and Hamilton
Right.
set by
If you
Coors Light.
dislike it, swipe left. It's Tinder time. You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Life has its moments, times to remember and share. Make the most of those special occasions by visiting Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street. John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. We're here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. When you think of diamonds, you hear about color, cut, clarity, and carat weight. We can help you understand that. But we're equally concerned with earning your trust with the quality of our selection and our service. Goodman'sJewelers.com, in the heart of downtown Madison. Truly a destination worth reaching.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nice run. It's great being back out on the mountain. You sort of disappeared for a while. Everything okay? Between you and me, it was lower testosterone. Lower T? Yeah. The doc told me once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to stay in shape. That's why I started taking Nugenix Total T. It's made a huge difference. Oh, I've seen that on TV. Is it for real? For sure. It's the #1 doctor-recommended testosterone booster. It boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. My wife, my boss, my kids, everyone has noticed a change in me. Do they still give out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves? Yes. Just send them a text.
Guys, text HATCH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC and Walmart. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back in shape fast, absolutely free. Text HATCH to 321-321. That's HATCH to 321-321.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
Jump on Twitter to fact check me.
Who has ever said in the history of the world, jump on Twitter to fact check me?
I ain't gonna lie to you. Compared to other places that put news out, whatever.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Stoughton Health, in collaboration with patient and family advisors, seeks to advance the healthcare experience at Stoughton Health by providing a forum for past patients and families to provide feedback on a variety of healthcare and other related topics. Advisors offer constructive feedback on their personal journey at Stoughton Health, helping to elevate the patient experience and increase satisfaction. Interested? Please call Amy at 608-873-2308.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
They dance above me as I sing. I see them through a crystal haze and hear their sweet sound bouncing round the never-ending choral maze. The crystal haze and hear them bouncing round the room. The never-ending choral maze.
So I guess, well, they won't be the number 6th ranked team in the country for long. But I guess we could talk a little Badger basketball.
Well, pump the brakes. They've got one on Sunday against the number 2 team in the country. AP poll doesn't come out till Monday afternoon. If they win on Sunday, they could still be number 6.
I still doubt that they're 6.
Jimmy, I love you dearly, but remember we're on camera, pal.
It's okay. Oh, you think people are going to read my card?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
I don't know if you could have seen it, but
I appreciate the heads up on it.
Safe than sorry.
Yeah, no. So with the Badger basketball team, I would say I want to lean on you for your thoughts on this team because I'm pretty open. This is not against Badger hoops. I initially thought I had a problem with Badger basketball and the way they played, but after a few years, I don't know if it's a Big Ten thing.
They're fun.
I just don't like college basketball.
I know you don't.
So that's
I
why
know
I'm
you
not
don't.
making it about the Badgers.
You don't.
And I do. I get behind FAU, but I went to school there. And they do play a fun style, but so do the Badgers. But I went to school at FAU, so I'll get behind them, and I watch them. They're on ESPN sporadically. They're honestly easier to watch for me than the Badgers are because of, like...
networks?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Badgers played a few games on Peacock. They were on Big
FAU
Ten
plays
Network last
most
night.
of the games on ESPN Plus or on ESPN, so I've got to watch a few, and they're a hell of a fun team to watch. But not here to talk about them. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. Badger basketball, let's just get right. Are they going to beat Purdue?
To be honest with you, I think yes.
Tell me why.
Number one, college basketball overall is most parity I remember in a long time. There's one really good team in college basketball right now, and it's the reigning national champion UConn Huskies.
So not Kentucky with multiple NBA players on it.
Kentucky's good. They're just inconsistent. They've taken some bad losses this year. So is Duke. So is UNC. UNC just lost the other night to Georgia Tech, who has like 4 wins on the year, and they're ranked number 7 in the country. So there's a lot of parity. And like last night for the Badgers, right? They have a 19-point lead on the road at Nebraska, who's like 500 on the season. However, they haven't lost a Big Ten game at home yet. And even with a 19-point lead, in the style of basketball the Badgers play, you should never blow a 19-point lead. And they find a way to do it. So, look, the Badgers offensively are better than they've been in years. I think I heard a stat last week, and I don't know if that's still accurate, but they are averaging the most points per game they have in 48 years, which is absurd, right?
Yeah.
You add a guy like A.J. Storr, and then you add a couple of freshmen.
Who's really fun to watch.
He's terrific, and he's really the only guy that came to play last night outside of Chucky in the first half. But for Sunday, right, Purdue is I would agree with the AP poll, the second best team in the country. They have the best player in college basketball in Zach Edey, but they're beatable, right? We've seen them lose to Northwestern and Nebraska, by the way, who beat them by 16 points. It took overtime for Nebraska to beat Wisconsin last night. If you find a way to limit Zach Edey,
take overtime. The Badgers crap the bed. Like they should not. Like that should not have gone to overtime. Should not have lost that game.
I agree. I mean, I'm with you, but to lose games to Northwestern and Nebraska shows you're beatable. And that's why they're tied now with the Badgers atop the Big Ten. So Sunday is a really big game for the standings, but also a really big game for the Badgers in their standings within the entirety of college basketball. If they can win, I still think they're top 16 in the country, top 7, top 8 maybe. But if they lose, they probably drop to like a 14, 15, 16 range. They are a good team. They should be a 2, 3, 4 seed come March. But this is a big test. Illinois comes to town in a few weeks, too. They're a top 15 team in the country. So we're going to learn a lot about this team. But overall, they're playing more fun basketball than they have in past years. Greg Gard continues to prove he is a terrific college basketball head coach. I know you and I argued a lot about that after the disappointing year that last year was. But I just think he is so damn good, such a great coach in college basketball. And he continues to prove that.
And my concern is more about him as a recruiter.
And like A.J. Storr has helped you?
Right,
John Blackwell has helped you? Nolan Winter has helped that case, right? Guys that are coming off the bench.
I have nothing bad to say about, obviously, it'd be ridiculous. I have nothing bad to say about the team or the coach or anything. They're on the right track. I just have bad things to say about college basketball.
Yeah, that's fair.
And again, I've said...
And I disagree, but I know I'm not going to change your mind.
Right, the only reason I watched college basketball was forever you would be a breeding ground to see players go to the NBA. And now I pull up ESPN's mock draft, and like 2 out of the top 15 players are in college basketball, and both play for Kentucky.
Yeah,
otherwise
sports are
they're playing in Europe or G League Unite, or they're playing outside. They're definitely not in the Big Ten. There might be a few other players. I don't know if there's any. And so that's what I liked watching. And Storr is fun like that, and Johnny Davis was too, where you get to watch a guy who is an NBA player, even though Davis might not be, play against people who aren't and see that sort of greatness. Yeah. But in general, like I could just watch, like I feel like if I could get the EuroLeague, I'd watch a better brand of basketball than college at this point.
And I don't mean to hammer college kids, but I'm going to do it for 1 second. If you are 7 feet tall and you play 38 minutes in a Big Ten game, you can not only take 2 shots and miss them both.
You can hammer them because
Stephen
guard
Crowell
did.
had 1 point last night. 13 rebounds, great.
Yeah.
1 point.
I had to check the minutes because,
38?
Yes, that's what. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't say stuff like this much because I always joke that I'm a great athlete. I'm not. But I'm 6'3". If you put me on a Big Ten basketball floor for 38 minutes, I'm scoring more than 1 point.
Wrong. You might not score. You get more than 2 shots up, though.
Yeah.
That I think you feel confident.
All right. We can agree on that.
Yes.
But I think Badgers win on Sunday.
Let's hope.
I think they bounce back.
Yeah, I do hope
and then we go into a
it's
fun
always
stretch.
fun to have a good basketball team. I'm going to see them, I think, twice this month. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Enjoy your weekend.
Have a great weekend. See you.